Good evening. Just going to open up the school committee meeting for Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. Like always, we're going to open up with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next up on our agenda, we're going to have a reading of the mission statement. The vision of the Wakefield Public Schools is to graduate students who are confident, lifelong learners, who are respectful and caring members of their community. Our mission is to prepare students for college, career, and community by providing a rich and challenging curriculum, high-quality instruction, and educational experiences that meet their individual needs and interests. Okay, the next item on the agenda is public comments. Seeing no one in the room for public comments, I'm going to ask if there's anyone online or on Zoom, if we have anyone on public comment. Okay, seeing that there's no one in the room and no one on Zoom, the public comment session is over. Next up on the agenda, we do have a consent agenda and we do have a motion regarding the minutes from our last meeting.
Move that the school committee approve the minutes of the June 24th, 2025 school committee meeting.
Second.
All right, having heard the motion seconded, all those in favor? Okay, unanimous 5-0. That motion passes. There are no budget items today, so I think that we're all good there. So we'll move on to Dr. Lyons.
Good evening. I hope everybody is enjoying the start of summer and had a good 4th of July. So it's nice to see everybody. This evening we have an abbreviated agenda. We're seeking the approval for the memoranda of agreements for the units that were settled, the contracts that were settled this spring. The first MOA that we're seeking support for is for the AFSCME cafeteria workers contract from FY26 to FY28.
So do we have a motion on the floor?
Yes. Move that the school committee approve the MOA for the cafeteria workers contract fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 28 as presented.
Second.
Motion has been seconded. All those, is there any discussion for this motion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? All right, unanimous 6 to 0. I'm sorry about that, 6-0.
The second contract that we're seeking approval for the MOA for the AFSCME custodial contract from FY26 to FY28 as well.
And I think we have a motion for that.
Move that the school committee approve the MOA for the custodian contract fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 28 as presented.
Second.
Is there any discussion for this motion on the approval of the custodian contract? Seeing none, all those in favor? Unanimous vote, 6-0.
We are seeking approval for the MOA for the Wakefield Administrators Association contract from FY26 to FY28.
And I think we have a motion for this MOA.
Move that the school committee approve the MOA for the Wakefield Administrators Association contract fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 28 as presented.
Second.
Okay, this motion has been seconded. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? All right, we have a 6-0 unanimous decision.
The next item is we are seeking approval for the MOA for traffic supervisors contract from fiscal year 26 to fiscal year 28.
And I believe we have a motion.
Move that the school committee approve the MOA for the traffic supervisors contract FY26 to FY28 as presented.
Second.
This motion has been seconded. All those in favor? I'm sorry, is there any discussion on this motion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? All right, that is 6-0 in approval.
And the final MOA that we're seeking approval on is for the clerical workers contract that are represented by AFSCME as well for FY26 to FY28.
All right, I think we have a motion on the floor for this.
Move that the school committee approve the MOA for the clerical workers contract FY26 to FY28 as presented.
Second.
All right, this motion has been seconded. Is there any discussion for this motion? Seeing no discussion, all those in favor? All right, we have our final unanimous 6-0 approval for this motion.
That's it for me.
All right. I just want to extend thanks to the committee for the hard work, for the administrative negotiating team for settling all these contracts. I know that the teachers in Unit C, get all the press, but we do have to make contracts with all these other units, and we know it's a lot of work. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the chair's comments. I just have a few. First of all, happy summer. Unfortunately, I was away last week, so I was not here for the Wakefield parade, but everyone has told me that it was great and a successful event. Unfortunately, I was up in my place in Maine. The one thing I did want to say, we approved the school committee calendar for next year. I just wanted to let the public know that there's 2 changes to that calendar. On September 23rd, that school committee date is going to change to the Thursday of that week, which is September 25th. Same exact time, 7 o'clock. And then the November 11th meeting is going to be moved to the next day, the next Wednesday on November 12th. Both of those were holidays, so we're moving that so that those holidays could be observed. I also just want to make a reminder, and this is my fault, even though I appointed everyone to their liaison assignments, I didn't really make clear that people should be educating each other about who to contact if they were on a liaison for someone last year and now they're switching. I'm going to ask the people that were the liaison for that group to communicate with the people that are now the liaison. Alex, I did reach out to Ms. Herzog to contact you for CPAC. Stephen, it's my fault. I have to contact you for ESC. So that's my bad. But everyone else, if you could just talk, if you're switching liaison appointments, just please.
I can just reach out to Tiana.
I'm sure, yeah. I think they have a meeting on Thursday. I apologize really strongly, which gives you like 2 days notice. But because it just came to me, I was like, oh no. So, okay. But okay, and yeah, so and for my final comment, during the summer, this is, the part of the time where we kind of recharge our batteries. But we're going to be raring to go in 2 weeks, and I'm sure administration is going to be planning for the start of the school year very, very soon, if not currently. So our next meeting will have a more substantial agenda to discuss the beginning of the year things. And that is all for my comments. Okay, subcommittee reports, finance and facilities. Have you guys met?
We have not had a chance to meet since the last meeting, no.
Okay, thank you. Labor and personnel. Kevin.
Yeah, we too haven't met. Probably no plans for a little bit. So
Yeah.
For the rest of the summer.
Okay, student services.
We have not met. I know sort of our, I'd like to get a meeting on the books maybe before the start of the school year. We had talked about engaging CPAC a little bit more in that group. So I think I would also reach out to Anne and just sort of think about crafting, what that would look like, how we can sort of partner better in that space, as well as and do that work sort of in parallel with the school start time, which was the last sort of capstone that student services had worked on. So
Okay.
yeah, hopefully more to follow.
Cool. Great idea. And policy and communications.
We have not met,
Okay.
but we have plans to.
All right. Great. Looking forward to it. Are there any liaison reports? Okay. All right. Then that's it. Next on the agenda, our next school committee meeting is going to be on Tuesday, August 12th, at 7 o'clock. Yes.
Is there, I'm just curious, is there a plan to have a retreat this year, or like a?
So Dr. Lyons and I did meet about 2 weeks ago, I think, before we went on respective vacations. So we are definitely planning on having a retreat. That date has not been set. So we were talking about whether we want to do a weekend retreat, whether during at the end of the summer when the school year starts.
Sure.
But yes, we are planning on having a retreat.
Great. Thank you.
Pretty similar to what we've done in the past in terms
Great.
of our outlook. Yeah. But thanks for bringing that up. School committee comments. Does anyone on the committee have any comments to bear on the public? Stephen.
Thank you to all the students that took part in the 4th of July parade. There was a lot of kids, and not just from the district, but also from like St. Joe's. I think they celebrated their 100th anniversary, and so they had a nice float in the parade, which was pretty cool. And then it was, you were just saying, that summer's the time to recharge our batteries. But as I mentioned earlier, walking through the building, some of the band kids are hard at work in the hallways upstairs. And I see the parking lot at the Galvin packed every single day that I head out onto Main Street. So while some of us are sort of kicking back a little bit, it does not mean that the district sort of went to sleep. There's a lot of people doing some good work and a lot of kids out there having fun. And some of them even in a learning space, which is just great. So thankful for everyone that kind of keeps their motor going while others are sort of at the beach, and it's cool to see. So that's all.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other comments? All right, seeing none, I think we have a motion.
Move the school committee adjourn its meeting of Tuesday, July 8th, 2025.
Second.
All right. All those in favor? 6-0 approval. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on August 12th.
All right. That is a record. Thanks, Michelle.